Hey Mop, come swim with us. Huh? Oh, okay. Here I come. Whee! When I was like around 7 years old during summer break, my family decided to go to China for a few weeks to catch up with some relatives. Since we would be there for so long, my grandparents thought summer break in China would be a great time for me to learn how to swim. Therefore, my grandparents enrolled me in a swimming summer camp. In China, people take swimming very seriously and many people want their children to become gold medal athletes. So as a result of that, swimming classes in China are pretty intense. I was actually excited to go to China since it sounded like a nice and relaxing vacation. But little did 7-year-old me know, this summer would change the rest of my life. On the first day of swimming camp, my grandpa did not know where my class was in the building. So in the midst of his panicking, he decided to just tell me to find a class himself. So there it was, at the entrance to the big pool. I was already shaking in fear since my grandpa just ditched me. On one side of the pool, there are a bunch of little 5-year-old girls wearing bright pink colors with big floaty tubes around their waist, sitting on the floor doing some stretching, getting ready to float in the pool. On the other side of the pool were a bunch of intimidating 10-year-old kids doing flips into the deep end of the pool, along with a strict mean-looking coach holding his long bamboo shoot, waving like it was a staff. Yup, you heard me right, a bamboo shoot. He looked like he was about to Kung Fu Panda up someone. It was up to my little 7-year-old brain to decide which group I was supposed to go to. I bet when all this was happening, my grandpa was just sitting on top of the viewing platform, just, relaxing, having a good time, good vacation, while his grandson was down there suffering. Yep. So the two groups were two extremes. At that time, all I knew was how to do the breaststroke and hold my breath for like 5 seconds. Instantly, my flight or fight survival instincts turned on. If I went into the 10-year-old boy group, I would most likely drown within a few minutes, and if I went to the little girl group, I would probably drown in embarrassment. And would you guess which group I went to? Yep, you're probably right. The little girl group. Pretty sad. Yeah, I know. But if you were me and you were there, you probably would have chose the same thing. So anyways, after making that clutch decision, I waddled towards the little girl group and started doing the stretches. While doing the stretches, I looked at the coach's face trying to send her telepathic messages of distress. But all she did was look at me like I was a weirdo and didn't say a thing. Okay, now here's where the problem started happening. I played along with the whole stretching biz, but then suddenly, a hand yanked me up and dragged me away. I was in a state of shock and my brain was like, is this the way I'm gonna go? It's all gonna end like this? What did I do to deserve this? After I finally escaped the state of shock, all I heard was the coaches yelling. I didn't know Chinese that well, so I was like, this dude be crazy yelling in gibberish and it's gonna be a long summer. So there was 2 drills I clearly remember. The first drill went something like this. The coach made everyone swim along the wall where there were bamboo shoots laying on the surface of the water, indicating where you have to put your head down into the water. But if you didn't put your head in the water, the coach would just casually walk over, get a bamboo shoot, and knock you a few times on the head until you put your head in the water. This drill may sound super easy to you, but let me just remind you, I was just a little skinny 7-year-old boy that didn't know how to swim and just got dragged by his coach in front of little girls. So when it was my turn to go, it sounded something like this. Help! Help me, I can't swim! Help! Help! Ooh! I bet you kinda got the picture of what it looked like. The second drill was diving into the water. Many of you guys think it's fun because it is for me right now, but when I was 7, it was like jumping into a void of death. When the coach said, "Okay, time to die," time to dive. All the kids were like all cheering and high-fiving each other, and then there was me. Everybody formed a line and one by one they jumped into the water laughing, but I knew I wouldn't be laughing if I jumped in. So my genius 7-year-old brain found a loophole in the system. Each time it was my turn, I would pretend to drop something invisible and accidentally go out of line. Then the kid behind me would be like, "Yo, are you gonna go back in line?" Then I would pretend to fondle with the invisible object and be like, Nah, it's okay, I got you bro, VIP pass to the front. It was a win-win situation. I didn't have to jump into the void of death, and he didn't have to wait in line, and meanwhile I would make new friends, so the plan was pretty good. So after a few days of crying myself to sleep every night and barely surviving using this technique, I noticed that the coach started realizing what was happening. On the 4th day of class, when it was time to jump into the deep end off the bouncing thing, I decided to do the last resort clutch, and I asked the coach if I could go to the washroom. He stared into my soul for a few seconds, but then he let me go. I was like, oh god, that was a close one. In China, instead of toilets, they have a little hole in the ground, so when I went into the stall thinking I was safe, I started squatting over the hole, pretending like I was dropping pebbles in the pond, if you know what I mean. 10 minutes passed by, and the blood circulation in my legs have been stopped. I was starting to think I couldn't squat no longer, but then suddenly, I heard loud footsteps stomping towards my stall. Then, there was a moment of silence. And then out of nowhere, my stall door just got kicked down, leaving my exposed little booty. I looked up and there he was. My coach, looking like he was in some sort of FBI search and rescue mission, dragged me out of the stall and forced me to jump into the water. I couldn't even process what just happened, so I just stood there blankly. Then all of a sudden, this dude just pushed me into the water and I was like, ah, help me no swim, me no swim. So after that class, I cried like crazy non-stop, and finally, at last, my grandparents were like, maybe this class is too hard for him. Yeah, maybe. For the rest of the summer, my grandma brought me to the same place for some leisure swimming, but that coach was still staring me down like an eagle on the balcony. Till this day, I still have nightmares about swimming class in China. Yup, that's pretty much it. The reason why I do not like swimming. Pretty intense if I do say so myself. Anyways, I hope you got entertained due to my misery, and remember to subscribe and leave a like. This video was a pretty long one compared to my first video. Anyways, if you're still watching, shout out to you, and see you guys next time.